Look at a row in your database, account balance, $50. It is correct and it is almost useless as a record because it cannot answer the one question that matters when something goes wrong. How did it become 50? Was it one deposit or 100 transactions? Was there a refund, a correction, a fraud reversal? The row cannot say because every time the balance changed, you ran an update statement that overwrote the old value with the new one. You have been storing the current state and, on every single write, throwing the history away, deleting the most valuable data in your system as a matter of routine. Event sourcing turns this upside down. Instead of storing the balance, you store the facts that changed it. Deposited 100, withdrew 70, deposited 20. The events are the truth, kept forever, append only. And the balance? The balance is not stored at all. It is calculated by adding the events up. $50. And the complete story of how from the same data. This is not a new idea. It is how your bank's ledger and your version control history have always worked. So what do you actually gain by keeping the events instead of the state? Keeping the events instead of the state is not just tidier, it hands you three things that are painful or impossible in a state-oriented system. First, a perfect audit log, and it costs you nothing extra. Most teams bolt an audit trail onto a mutable database, a second set of tables that logs what changed, and that log can drift from the real data because it is a copy maintained by hand, and a copy is a lie waiting to happen. With event sourcing, there is no second system. The events are the primary record, so the audit log cannot disagree with reality because it is reality. Second, time travel. Because current state is just the events folded up, you can fold only the events up to last Tuesday and get an exact, trustworthy picture of the state as it was last Tuesday. Reproduce a bug, run an investigation, answer a regulator. Third, and this is the one that surprises people, you can answer questions you did not know to ask when you designed the system. A new report, a new view, a new feature that needs the data sliced a different way. You build it by replaying the same history through a new lens, no migration required because the raw facts were never discarded. So if the events are the source of truth, how exactly do we get from a pile of events back to the current state? The mechanism is one you already use every day, probably without naming it. To get the current state, you start from an empty initial value, a zero balance, an empty cart, a blank document, and you walk the events in the order they happened, applying each one to the running value. Deposited 100, 0 becomes 100. Withdrew 70, 100 becomes 30. Deposited 20, 30 becomes 50. The value you're holding when you run out of events is the current state. That is a left fold, a reduce. The exact operation you call on arrays a dozen times a week, state equals events.reduce, apply, starting from the initial value. The event store itself is beautifully boring. It is append only. You never run an update. You never run a delete. The only operation is to append the next fact to the end of the stream. This is why event sourcing is so robust. An append-only log is the easiest thing in all of computing to make durable, to replicate, and to reason about because nothing that was written is ever changed. But if the current state is recomputed by folding the entire history every time you need it, is that not catastrophically slow? The obvious objection is correct. An account open for 10 years might have 100,000 events, and folding all of them every time someone checks their balance would be insane. The fix is a snapshot. Every so often, every 100 events, every night, whatever fits, you fold the stream up to that point and save the resulting state as a snapshot, tagged with the position in the log it represents. Now, to get the current state, you do not start from the beginning of time. You load the most recent snapshot and fold only the handful of events that have happened since. 100,000 events becomes one snapshot load plus the 12 events from this afternoon. Fast. And here is the crucial discipline that keeps event sourcing honest. The snapshot is a cache, never the source of truth. It is a performance optimization and nothing more. If you deleted every snapshot in your system right now, you would lose exactly zero information because you could rebuild all of them by folding the events again. The events are sacred, the snapshots are disposable. Keep that land bright and event sourcing stays trustworthy. Now, this reveals a deeper split hiding in every application, and naming it is the second half of today's lecture. What is that split? Step back from event sourcing for a second and look at what your application actually does, because there is a fault line running through it that most designs paper over. On one side, the writes, a user places an order, transfers money, updates a profile. A write is a single command, and its job is to enforce the rules. Is this allowed? Is the balance sufficient? Is the input valid? And then record exactly one thing that happened. Writes care about consistency and correctness, and they touch one entity at a time. On the other side, the reads show me this customer's order history, the top 10 products this week, a dashboard joining 6 tables. A read touches many entities, needs to be fast, and wants the data pre-shaped for the exact question being asked. These are opposite appetites. The write side wants a normalized, rule-enforcing model. The read side wants denormalized, query-optimized views. And for decades, we have forced a single data model, one set of tables, one schema, to serve both masters, which is why it so often ends up mediocre at each, normalized enough to make reads slow, denormalized enough to make writes risky. What if you simply stop forcing them to share? The pattern that stops forcing them to share has an intimidating name and a simple idea. It is called CQRS, Command Query Responsibility Segregation, coined by Greg Young, and all it says is this: use one model to change your data and a separate model to read it. On the right side, you accept commands, place order, transfer funds, you validate them against your business rules, and you record the result. When you pair CQRS with event sourcing, that recording is exactly the append we have been discussing. The command produces one or more events, and they go into the append-only store. On the read side, you have completely separate read models, sometimes called projections or materialized views, each one a denormalized table shape for a specific query. The order history screen has a read model that is literally a pre-joined order history table. The dashboard has its own. Reads never touch the event store or the write model. They hit these purpose-built views and fly. Two important honesties from Greg Young and from Martin Fowler, who both wrote the canonical descriptions. First, CQRS and event sourcing are separate ideas. They pair beautifully, but you can do CQRS over plain databases, and you can event source without splitting your reads. Second, both are advanced patterns, not defaults we will get to when not to reach for them. But the pairing raises an obvious question. If writes go to an event store and reads come from separate tables, who keeps those read tables up to date? The thing that keeps the read models current is called a projection, and if you watched last episode, you have already met its engine. A projection is a process that subscribes to the stream of events coming out of the right side, and for each event, it updates its own read table. An order-placed event arrives. The order history projection inserts a row into its pre-joined order history table. A money transferred event arrives. The balance projection updates a simple key value of account to balance. This is the outbox relay from episode 4, promoted from a delivery trick to an architectural principle. Events flow out of the right model, and every read model in your system is built by consuming that stream, which means the read side is eventually consistent. And this is the cost you must design for, not hide. When a command appends an event, the read models do not update in the same instant. The projection processes the event a moment later, so for a few milliseconds, a read can return data that is slightly behind the write. Usually, that is completely fine. The user who just placed an order can be shown a confirmation from the right side directly. But if you pretend the gap does not exist, if your UI writes and then immediately reads the projection expecting its own change, you will ship a confusing bug. Name the lag, design around it. So with all this machinery, when is it worth it, and when is it a mistake? Both Greg Young and Martin Fowler are unusually blunt about this, so I will be too. These are powerful patterns, and they are the wrong choice for most software. Reach for event sourcing when the history is genuinely part of the product. Finance, where the ledger is the point. E-commerce and logistics, where you constantly ask what happened to this order. Anything audited, regulated, or forensic. In those domains, keeping every fact is not overhead. It is the core value, but do not default to it. If your application is fundamentally create, read, update, delete over some forms, most applications are, then event sourcing and CQRS add real machinery, an event store, projections, eventual consistency, in exchange for benefits you will never use. Fowler's warning is explicit. CQRS adds risky complexity, and for a lot of systems it is simply the wrong tool. And weigh the two costs honestly. 1. Eventual consistency between write and read is now your permanent reality, and it touches your UI, your tests, your mental model. 2. Events are forever, which means the schema of your events is forever too. The event you write today will be replayed in 5 years, so you need a plan for versioning and evolving event shapes from the very first day, or your future self inherits a log they cannot read. What is the checklist you carry back to your own systems? The portable checklist, 5 rules. 1. Store events as the source of truth, append only, never mutate it. The log of facts is the primary record. If you ever find yourself updating or deleting an event, you have left event sourcing and are back to losing history. 2. Compute state by folding the events and treat snapshots strictly as a cache. A snapshot you could delete and rebuild is a safe snapshot. A snapshot you cannot rebuild has quietly become a second source of truth, and now the two can disagree. 3. Split writes from reads, commands validate and append events. Queries read purpose, build projections, and neither reaches into the other's model. 4. Build every read model by consuming the event stream, exactly the way last episode's relay drained the outbox. Projections are just consumers of your facts. 5. Version your events from day one and design for the read lag. Events outlive every deployment, so their schema needs a migration story before you have a single one in production, and your reads are eventually consistent, so build the UI and the tests that assume it. 5 rules, 1 theme, keep the facts and let every view be a disposable function of them. Let us land the whole story. Landing it. A normal database stores the current state and, on every write, overwrites and discards the history, the most valuable data you have, deleted as routine. Event sourcing refuses to do that. It stores the events, the append-only facts of what happened, as the source of truth and treats the current state as a left fold over those events, recomputed on demand and cached in disposable snapshots. From that one decision, you inherit a truthful audit log that cannot drift because it is the primary data, the ability to reconstruct any past state by folding to that point, and the freedom to answer questions you never anticipated by replaying history a new way. CQRS is the natural partner. It admits that reads and writes want opposite models, so it splits them. Commands validate and append events on the right side, and separate read models projections are kept current by consuming the event stream. Exactly the outbox relay from last episode, grown into an architecture. The price is real and permanent, eventual consistency between write and read, and events that live forever and so need a versioning plan from day one. These are advanced tools for domains where history is the product. For ordinary create, read, update, delete, they are complexity you will not use, and the experts who invented them will tell you the same. The discipline to keep, store the facts, and let every view be a function of them. That is our 5th pattern. Thanks for watching.